This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
What happened to the slow report? What happened to the slow report?
Slow burn.
Yeah, listen.
No, he got canceled for something on the slow report. What was it? It spooked you.
Was it the Queen dying?
Might have
I hit
been.
the Queen dying.
Okay, Jessica, this is a problem around here, and we'll get to the important local stuff in a second, but Chris Cody has suddenly reemerged. Hey, thanks for that, Chris. There's a general problem. Our audience is noticing that the shipping container, there's a lot of big heads. Like, people are getting filled with ego. Heat fandom has percolated in the room, making people extra obnoxious. Metal has very loose rules. Everyone can take vacation whenever they want to, which I suppose is why Stugotz isn't here again today. Although he tells you that on Stupidity, if you want to hear from the winning coach, national championship lacrosse coach who shepherded his daughter to a championship at Northwestern, that it's moving and you should check out Stupidity.
When it drops.
Which I'm hoping airs at some point if Stugotz does his job, which no one can be certain of. Chris Cody, you learning from Stugotz on this is becoming a bit infuriating. You just vanishing yesterday and the day before where we just lost you, and now you're finally back. Welcome back. And
Thank you.
And I texted you, and please, tone can be lost in text. Your thoughts when I texted you, where the hell are you?
I responded to you where I was recording with Adnan.
For 7 hours?
No, for 2. We were done at like 2 p.m. Do you really want to get into nuts and bolts of this? It's not that complicated.
I do.
I want to understand why it is around here that the shipping container in general is being accused of getting big-headed.
Because we have 72 podcasts at this network that need to be produced.
But that's not big-headedness. That's people accusing you of big-headedness and you saying, I'm a hard worker. That's not...
The big head is just genetic. I mean,
Yeah,
in
7
multiple
5/8.
ways. He's Greg Cody's son, and
7
he's
and
got a
5/8.
large noggin.
It's a
It's
noggin.
gotten bigger.
That's a
I
big
used
noggin.
to wear a 7 and a
Hell
half,
yeah.
but the 7 and 5/8 just fits better now.
Are you on HGH?
No, his jaw's the same though.
It's a little
Mike.
tight.
His
The 7
jaw is most
Forehead
certainly
is fine.
not the same.
Yeah.
Oh come on! I was trying to do a thing. Oh, okay.
What?
That's not nice, Mike. But you just did to Chris Cody.
Hey,
he's fat.
I'll raise my hand first.
Je-
Pandemic was hard on all of us.
Jessica, he's fat-shaming.
Speak for
I'm not
yourself.
fat shaming. I've gained like 30 pounds since 2020.
No, come on, Mike. That's not
Yeah,
true.
I mean, it's mostly mass.
You are, it's mostly ego. It's
And the ass.
You are
Can
fat-shaming
confirm.
Chris Cody because
Thank you.
his...
I mean, I'm sitting, so that's
To
impressive.
be honest, there was one time where I was following Mike on the Metro Rail, and I was looking. I was like, "Damn, that looks like Mike." I was like, "Nah, but his ass is too big. That
Yeah,
can't be Mike."
My ass is big.
And then it was Mike.
You're doing, so what, you're doing a lot of squats?
No, like I'm just like there's some medication. It made me gain weight. I'm trying. I got a DJ that also sells Ozempic on the side, so I'm gonna do that.
We have so many of those in
Yeah.
Miami. We have so many pharmacists with a second job as a
I got an
DJ.
Ozempic guy that I think I'm gonna do that.
Put it on the
and
poll.
then just do like the Post Malone, say, "Oh, I stopped drinking soda."
Put it on the poll.
Did you see Jesse Plemons? Have you seen Jesse Plemons? Dude.
That Love and Death is a very good show.
Yeah, my wife likes it, but he's lost a person and a half.
Well, Jonah Hill is totally unrecognizable. Jonah Hill doesn't look anything like he used to look, and this is a popular Hollywood thing. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatard Show. Do you have an Ozempic guy? Yes or no? I want to address something here that is happening with the Miami Heat, because I said last week to everybody who was listening, hey, the fear makes it all a lot more fun. You haven't really feared in the playoffs. The Panthers have done some fearing. Hell, that first series was amazing. I'll remember it for the rest of my life because of the fearing in it. Like, I mean, the whole season could have collapsed first round laughing at the Panthers again.
Game 5, it could have collapsed. They had a breakaway at the very end of the third period with like 1.5 seconds left, and Bobrovsky starts this run in that moment. And then again in Game 7, well, Game 6 they're trailing, and in Game 7 they're down a goal with a minute left, have to pull Bobrovsky. Montour gets the equalizer, and then the rest is history.
I've got some going on in my life right now. Just really bad shit. A lot of hospital visits, a lot for a lot of different reasons. And what this has jostled in me has been such a blessed escape to just feel the joy and fear of fandom I no longer have to disguise. These people were at my wedding. These people, I love what the Miami Heat.
Brandon Montour was at your wedding?
Wow.
What the Miami Heat do. I was at the home. I was at the home of one of the Doug McClain in Canada watching a run with his parents. And Mike makes fun of me all the time. No.
For those that don't know, that was the Panthers coach in 1996.
But just
I thought it was the guy from Die Hard. No, that's
John McClane.
oh, close.
McClain.
forgive me. Mike's always making fun of me wanting to go back 25 years on things, whether it's baseball or hockey, and he should make fun of me about it. But back then, when I was an up-and-coming journalist, the reason I got into this business is because, holy shit, this stuff is great. It's so much fun. And then a 25-year desert of our teams are never any good at anything. Never any good. And we'll have Panthers on. We're going to bury you in Panthers, and we're going to keep annoying you with because I'm talking to the national audience here that checks in on the local hour and gets mad when we do all this.
I gotta hit pause just a little bit. It's like the local hour. It's not. Yes, we're in the local hour right now, Roy, and I know that there are people that are listening to us buffet style in South Florida, particularly. They're gravitating towards the local hour, but it's permeating throughout the national show, as is every NBA Finals since we've been doing this thing. It just so happens that the Heat have been in 7 of them since this has been a show.
And it makes you obnoxious and Jeremy obnoxious and the shipping container obnoxious, so much so that I believe Jessica is rooting against the Heat, and don't blame her.
No. I want to go on the parade float, Dan. Here's the thing, though. I want to ask everyone. Here's the thing. I want to ask everyone what their preference is, because there's a few outcomes here. Both teams lose, saddest outcome. Both teams win, happiest outcome. But possible likely outcome, one wins, one loses. Which team are you willing to watch lose?
I mean, I've gone on record that it's not even close. I want the Panthers to win their first Stanley Cup, and the Heat have been a wonderful franchise, but I got the Heat trophy. If the video team can put it up, I've got my banner.
Are you kidding me?
This is my Larry O'Brien.
Yeah.
This right here is my Larry O'Brien. This photo of Bill Simmons, shell-shocked, because his team got blown out in a Game 7 by 20. That's the Larry O'Brien to me. It's all gravy from here, folks. It's all gravy.
He does look like a shell-shocked Marine coming back from Vietnam. Like, what did I just see?
There's
PTSD,
choppers going on in the background.
So we're willing to sacrifice the Heat to the Nuggets in exchange
I don't know
for
about
the
that.
Panthers?
Well,
No.
wait
I
a
don't
minute.
know about
No. If you know nothing about South Floridians and America in general, no. They're all greedy and obnoxious.
I want it all.
They want everything, even though what is happening with the Heat, it has also summoned something that I've been legitimately surprised by. Like, I'm like, oh, where did that come from? I thought that was dead years ago. Do you people understand how good Jokic is? I'm terrified of him.
Actually, to answer your question in one succinct answer, no. Yeah. I don't know, because I never really see him on TV, and I saw him against the Lakers. I'm like, yeah, that guy's pretty good.
Okay, 3-time MVP is what he should be, and what I'm telling you about that guy is he does have the ability to very quickly, what you were fearing last series with Boston, the country's going to laugh at us. They're going to laugh at the show. We've been real loud. He can take out anything in 4 games, and this is why I would just say to you very simply, how do I know? Because I know. It's a really bad matchup for Bam, and here's why. It's a really bad matchup for anyone who has ever held a basketball in the history of sports.
Yeah.
He's terrifying.
He's going to get his. The thing that you have to limit is the assist, because if he gets assists, that means other guys are making buckets. Historically, since the Heat have existed as a franchise, them going to Denver has been bad news. even when Denver wasn't a great basketball team, it's always been a difficult place for them to play. They don't come away with many wins over there. If you look by the individual matchups, there's even more cause for concern because Aaron Gordon has actually given Jimmy Butler a lot of problems in their individual matchups. It comes down to all the other guys. I think the Heat have struggled and shown you this postseason that they struggle guarding point guards. Jamal Murray has come online. There is so many basketball reasons why the Heat should lose, and yet I'm all in on the intangibles.
But you can be all in on the intangibles, and I would just tell you as we're starting that the country is expecting the Heat to lose in 4 or 5 games. That's
the most bet. It's the single biggest piece of action when it comes to prop bets on this series is Nuggets and 4.
Well, because I will tell you this, and people objected to this yesterday and didn't seem to understand what I was saying. It would be the biggest upset in the history of the sport if this team wins the championship. And a lot of people are like, no, the Giants in football, they beat the Patriots. In this sport, this team never wins the championship.
Allow me to put this in perspective for you. The Heat were, I think, plus 370. Well, 370 to 1. 370 to 1 to win the NBA championship. The U.S. men's national soccer team headed into the World Cup was 100 to 1. The Houston Texans, 200 to 1 to win the championship in professional football, and everyone knew they were bad. So this is, outside of Leicester City winning the English Premier League, possibly we're on the precipice of the biggest upset in sports history, the Miami Heat winning an NBA title.
I won't go there. I will not go that far. They're already mocking me for the prisoner of the moment on Just in This Sport. But it's just in this sport. Unfortunately, they're facing an ogre monster.
I like Ogre Monster.
Ogre Monster is great. I like Ogre
They're
Monster.
facing
Monster's
Shrek.
great.
They're playing against Shrek.
It is Shrek.
Jessica, what's going on with the subreddit between Heat fans and Nugget fans? We've got to find all the places. You have to understand, the country is going to object to these finals. I don't expect good ratings. I expect people talking a lot about the ratings. I expect a lot of the coverage between games to be about the Lakers and Steph Curry and all things basketball past that isn't Heat Nuggets, because we're going to get told a lot that the nation doesn't care about this, that the Heat just played the series that people cared about. And even though Jokic is on a platter for you, here, want to watch him? He's really special. People think
like alluding to chicken nuggets. Like, yeah, we're going to eat you. Exactly, Chris Cody. And then the Nuggets subreddit was saying upvote to scare Miami Heat fans, and it was a lot of pictures of like Miami sinking underwater due to climate change.
Who cares about that one?
And then there was one of Che Guevara, which I thought was
That one feels racist.
That one
that
is
one was-
racist.
that
and it
was
also
racist.
wasn't Che
Also
Guevara.
Fidel Castro.
sorry, it was
It was
Fidel
Fidel.
Castro.
Report that
Che
and
Guevara.
ban that red
Other
Fidel.
asshole evil
Jessica,
person.
Sorry.
Jessica, we need
I'll
to
go
help
to the
you
penalty
here.
box.
That one was Fidel.
Go to the Freedom Tower.
Whoa!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually. Learn your history.
No,
Yeah,
you
learn your
that's-
history. Go to the
that's a
Freedom
bad
Tower.
one.
By the by,
It's a bad
Yeah,
one. Yes. Follow her.
All right.
Somebody
I don't know
please.
what that is.
It's next door, and you need to find out.
You need to
somebody,
find out.
Somebody needs to explain the mistake you just made because it's ended careers in South Florida.
Yeah,
So
Tony, can you walk with her and just give
Yes,
her a history
just-
lesson?
I'm not going to be happy about it.
Tony, you got to teach her. You got to help her here. This is a
Tell her about
calamity.
abuelo and abuela.
She doesn't understand the calamity that she just walked into. I will get.
This is the greatest punishment ever. Yes, this is fantastic. I think it's under construction, so I don't know if you're going to be able to take a tour, but Tony's going to be your guide.
Salute to you, Jeff.
She's got a lot of learning
Yeah,
to do.
can we send a mobile
luck.
video team with Tony educating Jess?
It's
Educating?
It is.
Well, it's not man. Yeah, educating because she just confused Che Guevara with Fidel Castro.
it's a bad mistake.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You
Listen.
can mansplain like, hey, different guy, same beard.
Right.
I need to explain. Right, what happened with Jessica right now is a cancelable moment. We will not cancel her because we're a loving family here at Metal Arc, and people can make mistakes. But that's a bad one.
Yeah, we should also mention Che Guevara, not without blame.
We can give people a whole history lesson. Perhaps we will at the Freedom Tower that is next door.
I know it's cute when Rage Against the Machine put him on the drum kit, but it's that one's loaded.
It's problematic for a number of different reasons politically. No one cares except in South Florida.
Yeah, you can't support equal rights if you're wearing a Che Guevara shirt. I'm just telling you.
And I am called by the Cuban community down here un gusano, a worm, because of all of my liberal leanings. But you need to be careful with everything that just happened there. Jessica needs a real history lesson. We will not turn this into a giant controversy for her. But I was hoping to go and climb through the Reddit and find what we could in what is the conflict of this series. We need conflict. The conflict is fun. The fear is fun. We're going to fight with the Jokic brothers at some point. They're not going to think it's funny. We're going to try and hunt down the Jokic brothers and see if as a show we can fight them. But I have to get back to what it is that Roy just did in the middle of that segment, which is, I think, speak an eternal truth and a consensus in a time of division. Nuggets are delicious.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No one disagrees with that. Nuggets are unifying. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you're a vegetarian, but you want nuggets.
Yeah, Matthew Kugler, the producer of South Beach Sessions, told me a fascinating fact about nuggets, that McDonald's has just invented the entire concept. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He knows a lot, Matthew Kugler. He'll say it soft-spokenly, but he knows a lot.
He does. He has a lot of information. But I will not find a person in America. Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Will I find a person in America who doesn't like nuggets? Other than non-vegetarian, non-vegan. But I'm telling you that those people want to do that. They just don't want to think of chickens falling under cruelty.
What percentage of the nugget gets dipped in the ranch?
So
I go like 3/4 deep.
Yeah, I go as far as I can without touching the tip of my finger.
Whoa, that's heavy. You guys are heavy. So you guys
well,
are
because
getting
it
more.
depends on the sauce.
too
If I got
much.
sweet and sour or ranch or poly sauce, it's going all the way
But
in.
what you guys are no longer having nuggets. What you're having is a delicious condiment that
right.
has a
Yes,
quarter
correct.
of a nugget.
The
in it.
nugget is just the vessel. Is just the vessel for the sauce into my mouth.
As much, Mike, as I agree with the not wanting to get the sauce on the fingers, when you do find yourself with like a half a nugget and you're not going to not dip it, there's just a delightful feeling in both your fingers going into the sauce, and then what emerges is a fully engulfed third of a nugget and your fingertips just covered in sauce, and the whole thing goes in your mouth.
Sauce in your mouth is better than on your chin.
It's a gack.
On the McDonald's side, though, they're very skimpy with their sauces. Like, they only give you 2 sauces for 10-piece McNuggets. No, man. Give me another pack. Let's go.
To me, it's got to be an even 50-50 dispersion. So you get 50% of the nugget, and then if you only end up eating that half of the nugget and you do have, say, half or third left, you get half of then what is left of the nugget covered in sauce as well. So it's always about
if
half.
I'm eating nuggets with my pals, that's me being considerate. I'll just go 50%.
A nugget party?
Okay.
Yeah, but if I'm at home at 3 a.m., and I just got the late night Mickey D's.
Well, this is a totally separate conversation. Yeah. We're talking about
We're
logic.
Jameis Winstoning it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you guys need to help me with this because I'm not sure you're in the majority on this. At Le Batard Show, Juju, put it on the poll, please. When you go nugget, do you want 3/4 of it to be sauce or 1/4 of it to be sauce? Because I think there are 2 different kinds of people in the world I'm just discovering right now, which is people who like their nuggets to taste like chicken and people who like their nuggets to taste like only
Most
sauce.
nuggets don't even taste like chicken.
This depends on the fast food chain.
Yeah,
You're getting
and
it from.
I'm totally cool with that. If your fast food chain has nuggets that don't taste like chicken, that's fine. This is not exactly the nuggets preview I assumed we were going to have on the local.
If you're only eating nugget and there's no sauce, I'll fight you.
You're a crazy person.
You're a barbarian.
Yeah, you're a crazy person.
You're a barbarian. Nuggets essentially only exist for you to dip them in sauce.
But you're teaching me something because I honestly, you guys are going to correct me, I feel like here, but I feel like on the spectrum of foods, whatever is the worst nugget to the best nugget, like that they're all kind of the same. Like
Whoa!
it's hard to screw up a nugget.
No, it is hard to see. You're right here and you're wrong. It's hard to screw up a nugget, but they're not all the same.
I'm not
they're not
saying,
equal.
I'm saying on the spectrum of foods. When I go this done well, this done poorly, what's the difference? I put nuggets up there with pizza. Like, yeah, of course there's gas station pizza, and I'm guessing you wouldn't want to eat nuggets from a gas station. But maybe you would. Because I feel like nuggets are bulletproof here. That you can get them almost anywhere, and they're never going to be bad, and they have to be mad at pizza, because pizza, people are always saying of pizza, there's no such thing as bad pizza, and I just think there's no such thing as bad nuggets.
I feel like this is setting up for a top 5 nuggets.
You're speaking on this right now, but you're also gonna hit us with this. I haven't had a nugget since 2008.
No, I'll cheat with nuggets.
Wow.
I like that.
All right, yeah.
But you probably go no sauce because you're trying to like watch.
No, I'm not a barbarian. What's
the sauce of choice? Come on, Dano.
If I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat. Well, I like the honey Dijon. It's
What is your
fancy over here.
What does Dan's like? If you are just going to let it go, because you eat relatively healthy all the time. Like if you're just like, I don't give a shit, I'm eating. Like, what are you ordering?
it would be pizza and nuggets.
This is like when you ask these questions to, the defensive lineman or the offensive lineman that's lost like 150 pounds after their post-playing career. What does a Dan Le Batard cheat day look like?
Well, it's got a lot of oat milk ice cream in it.
And that's not a punishment?
I know. I can't have dairy. And I know all of the
Just do it.
The entire no, it's just terrible for everybody. If I have dairy, it's bad for everybody around me. Scents and smells and sounds, and that not unsurprising. And it's unrelenting. And how did we get here? I blame Jessica throwing the entire show off kilter with what is going to be a problem for me right now that I'm hoping becomes a viral moment that has Bill Simmons' picture in the corner, because I've been trying to execute that video gag for 3 days, and we failed yesterday. Caleb Martin, by merely saying what everyone already knew and has seen for 2 years in the finals and beyond, Jaylen Brown can't go to his left. He will just cough up the ball and you'll be dunking on the other end. The championship was decided that way last year, and Caleb Martin said this year, yeah, our game plan was always to send him to the left. The way people reacted to that, because it got aggregated, I wanted inexplicably to have Bill Simmons' crying face in a corner, and we weren't able to execute that because 2 days, 3 days, we haven't had our normal capacities.
Right now, our
here.
Bill Simmons corner is occupied by Jess's history lesson at Freedom Tower with Tony.
I mean, she needs to go into that museum and find out a little bit about Cuban culture. It's right next door. We're in the shadow of this thing. Symbolically, trying to change the game.
All right, top 5 nuggets. Ready. I cooked it up. You guys ready?
You are of the opinion that there is such a thing as the people in our audience will say the best nuggets are blank, are for blank.
Yeah, I think we'll reach consensus here.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see what you got.
Number 5, Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets.
Good answer. Good answer.
I like it.
So far, so good, right?
We've talked before about the Wendy's value menu is as good a bargain as there is in fast food.
Yeah. Number 4, Vashawn Leonard.
Good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah,
Indisputably.
good
Tastes
answer.
great with
yeah.
ranch.
Leonard.
Probably if we go look at the percentages, a terrible three-point shooter. given how
Back in
much
the day, but I thought he was stroking.
I mean, I couldn't
Dr.
believe
Jack,
that.
thank you for that.
I couldn't believe the way that guy was shooting.
Number 3, Popeyes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the nuggets or the strips?
The nuggets.
So, Mike, you're
Nuggets.
not going
The
to
We're not
strips
talking about
and tendies are a
nuggets.
different thing.
Yeah, we're not talking about
Number
tenders.
2,
strips.
the suddenly woke Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
Strips are a totally
It's the
different
oil.
thing.
answer.
I didn't even
It's the
know.
oil.
I didn't
Best.
even know Popeyes had nuggets.
Yeah. Well, that's white guys.
Yeah, I mean, but
I if you're ordering the nuggets at Popeyes, you're the one.
No,
guy.
you do the
But you
spicy
should
chicken
know.
sandwich.
But you
Right,
should
that's what I
know
mean.
that their chicken is going to be anything that is theirs that is fried chicken is going to be on the top 5 of anything.
And number 1, I feel like we can find real consensus on this one. Birdman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah. a good list.
Again, you continue to disrespect Carmelo Anthony for 2 weeks running now.
Chat GPT says Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated basketball player of all time.
Oh, wow.
I'm just telling you. Real computers know.
You went to artificial intelligence to find out whether you had actually.
Yeah, they had a top 10 of like most overrated basketball players, and he was number 1.
Amin is not here. Amin was trying to cop a Vegas trip from David Samson last week. Did he go to the finals or did he go to Vegas? Because Amin's supposed to be here this week, but he's going to be covering the finals from the finals for us.
Vashawn Leonard, 38% from 3.
How about that?
Why did he have the neon green light?
Oh my God, he'd be a Hall of Famer right now if they just let him
him
shoot
and Isaac
40 a
Austin were
game.
the beginning of like Heat culture and finding these guys at gold nuggets, if you will.
Shot 40% from 3 for the Heat. That's unbelievable.
Leonard!
5 years?
Leonard!
I do like what's happening around here, and I don't like what's happening around here. David Samson is cleaning up some stuff financially around here because we were very fat and inefficient on how to run a business, but he is getting smaller and smaller windows to work around here. He keeps getting bumped because Mike Ryan wants to be Panthers Heat all the time. And this has been a popular segment. I've loved doing the hour with David Samson. I enjoy it. It's easy content. Nothing personal. It's an hour of just him, and it's great information. Better than you're getting around here, I can assure you, especially on the business stuff, which he's super smart on. And we've been failing him, but I got into a wrestling match. I'm not even kidding, Samson, like wrestling an alligator. Hey, Samson's got to be on tomorrow. I want to talk to him about some things. And Mike Ryan's like, Dan, it was a furnace blast of Samson 2 weeks ago, and we're still trying to beg the audience back.
It's been so many weeks since I was there every day. It doesn't make me want to come back down to your studio. But that said, here's what exactly happened. Mike texted, I initiate every Wednesday, 9 a.m. tomorrow, assuming the answer is yes. And recently it's been yes, and then all of a sudden no. But then this week it was no. But then 8 minutes later, what about 9:40? Which means that it's 1 12-minute and 30-second segment. What am I going to say? I'm loyal, so I said fine. And now you're filling in the blanks that you were wrestling the alligator. I don't quite understand it, given that at 4 a.m. you're texting me for topics. I give you an hour's worth of topics that we can discuss, and not even the movie review on top of that. And yet it's not good enough. It's just strange to me, Dan.
Dan, would you like to tell David what happened in those 8 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Ryan's like, no Samson. And I'm like, do I run the company or not? Like, I want Samson. Like, do I, yes or no? And
He
Mike,
had to pull that card for you to show up today. So welcome. You can check out his stuff at Nothing Personal. Follow him on Twitter at David P. Samson. David, absolutely delighted to have you here. What's going on in the world of sports business?
There are a number of things, and I want to get to them with him. Samson, I'm sorry. We've onboarded you poorly again.
No, whatever. But just Mike's attitude now is so
A's to
bizarre. It's
Vegas,
like he's hanging out with Adnan. Mike, I was trying to figure out a way for you to get what you want in terms of the Panthers and the Heat. I was involved in meetings trying to make it so Meadowlark can have its best foot forward, with you having a choice to figure out what's the best way to get the best content given this full moon scenario in Miami sports. And the way you react is as though I'm not pulling for you. It just shows that I'm not doing a good enough PR job with you behind the scenes, because you're unresponsive, non-responsive when I reach out to you.
Dave, I involved in this Stanley Cup final situation.
This is all Roy cares about. Credentialed media member Roy just wants to go with Meadowlark expense account to just drink at the Stanley Cup Finals in Vegas.
For those listening along, Roy contractually has you introducing him that way. Credentialed media member Roy Bellamy.
That's right.
And all he wants is an expense account in Vegas, and everybody wants one. That's why Amin is trying to decide between the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final.
I just want a discretionary fund for Vegas to have you guys just trust me. Just trust me. Just
Please.
give me a budget. Just give me
I
a
must
budget.
tell you that there was zero trust in the meeting that took place yesterday, that there would be any content that would come out of sending anybody, that the juice would be worth zero squeeze. And I said to not have Roy at the Stanley Cup Finals. Why even have Roy on the show and build up the whole bit with his relationship with hockey if he's not going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals? It literally makes no sense. What? And Mike, with his entire Heat situation, of course he's got to be where the Heat are or where the Panthers are. And I'm going person by person, trying to explain why it makes sense. And it was a little bit like farting in the wind, but I got no follow-up, by the way. So I don't know if anyone's going anywhere, but I can only tell you that I allocated more of my time than I would have liked yesterday trying to get you guys to be on site for these events.
Somebody needs to get back with him immediately.
Thank you. I run the company. As you can tell, he wouldn't even be here today, giving away company secrets. I'm not kidding about any of this. Mike and I, as if I don't have enough going on, Mike and I are arguing about whether David Samson deserved 12 minutes on this show, as he's trying to do things for the company, and the company can't get it together. The juice that would be worth the squeeze, though, is the one that Roy would be drinking while he was in Vegas. That is the juice, because it's it's the only reason you want to go.
Bloody Mary mix
I
is
don't
the
know
juice.
we'd get
that
any
we are
content
squeezing.
other than Roy at the Mandalay Bay bar.
That's actually a funny one.
But we're sending Roy in a place where he can't even give emotion. Like, we want to document his emotion, but he'll be in the press box having to bottle it all up.
No, we need Roy with a drink on that gondola at the Bellagio going through a fake Venice.
Hey, wait.
It's the Venetian, Dan. The
Venetian.
gondola's
Yeah.
at the Venetian,
My bad.
as
That's
in
fine.
Venice.
That is a
Yeah,
fine.
you can send me, and I can guarantee you there's plenty of emotion at the crab stable at TI.
David, let's get to some of the stuff going on.
You haven't lived until you've had a frozen drink out of a Eiffel Tower-shaped glass.
I can't wait.
Put it on the poll. Have you lived? until you've had a frozen drink out of the Eiffel Tower.
You haven't lived until you've had a hot table at the New York.
I'll be there.
Oh, by the way, happy June.
You guys make it so difficult to get business done. I've never seen anything like
It's
it, Dan. The
amazing,
group
right?
you've put together.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It frightens me, and I can't believe that we don't have time for you. But regardless, let's get to a couple of the business things that I know you're going to be interesting on.
First and foremost, why do you think Aaron Gordon has historically been a matchup problem for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
That's so unfair what you just did to him. That's so
No, I actually am happy to answer that the best way is to get content from location so you can watch the game tonight and see whether or not it's true and then get your reaction to it.
What are you talking about?
Not what he asked you.
He asked you about Aaron Gordon.
Let me ask you it a different way. Do you think in this Stanley Cup final we are seeing a matchup of the two best two-way centers in Barkov and Karlsson? And if either of those teams lift the cup, are you willing to crown them as such?
This is unfair what you're doing. This is not what we have David on for. It's not. This is. You think that's good content to break down?
I think William Karlsson's two-way play is good content?
Dan, you handle this one, Dan.
Yes. Check out the Spitting Chicklets podcast that we're going to try and buy if in some way, if we need more hockey help. That's not why David's here. He's here to help on business, content, business, our business, and sports content that isn't X's and O's breakdowns of hockey.
Do you think Carter Verhaeghe's experience in a Stanley Cup final will come into play here?
That is not what we're doing, although
I cannot believe the way my time is being wasted right now.
The Padres, Bally's, please tell me what's happening there. I don't understand.
That makes two of us, David.
I don't understand what is happening with Bally's and running out of money. And we've talked before about all of these teams exist to be regional television content. It's why right now baseball is just a regional sport selling made for television stuff in its markets. What's happening with Bally's and the business of Bally's?
Mike, you better pay attention to this because this is going to impact the NHL and the NBA as well. This is about a company that has the rights to teams in those three leagues, and they are reorganizing under Chapter 11 protection. And the net for our purposes is that you'll be able to watch your games. But the question is, when you stream them in market, are you willing to pay a vigorish? And that is what the teams are hoping, that you will pay an extra $20 a month to be able to stream the games on any device you want in your market, which right now you cannot do. And what the RSNs are saying is that we're not going to pay all this money to the teams anymore. We're bankrupt. We're done. Unless you give us your streaming rights. And Rob Manfred went into court yesterday and said, nope, we're keeping our streaming rights. We're going to package them like the MLS. We're going to do revenue sharing so we can try to lessen the disparity between the payrolls of the Mets and the Marlins, let's say. And the judge is going to decide how this is all going to come down. But for your purposes, you can still see games. But the days of people paying for content that they're not actually engaged with, those days are coming to an end.
What is happening with that Minnesota ballpark, the Minnesota Stadium situation?
I'm going to sum up what I just finished on Nothing Personal today, live at 8 a.m. I had a very funny segment because it is awesome. The PR person for the Minnesota Vikings went public today saying, we just did the best thing ever for the people of Minneapolis and the city and the state of Minnesota. And what they actually did is they came up with a electronic pull tab McDonald's Monopoly gambling lottery game. And it was so profitable that the state agreed to use the extra profits to pay down the stadium debt early. But where did that money come from? It came from the people who are not going to Vikings games, who can't afford to go to Vikings games. And so it's a total scam. And it's going on. And it was great PR. Because you say we saved so many hundreds of millions of dollars in interest, like in Miami, where they're spending billions of dollars on Marlins Park, which is ridiculous. But in Minnesota, we got the people to pay for it early. But they're not telling you the truth about that. So it was pretty fun.
Why are you delighted by the scam? You seem like
he wishes he thought of it.
You're radiant and buoyant, and it's gross.
I am radiant and buoyant that there are still PR people working for teams who are able to convince people in the media that something good just happened and they hide what really happened. And I used to be the hider. And now on Nothing Personal, I'm the one who actually unveils what's being hidden. So I am so happy that I'm in a different position now than I was for 18 years. I'm happy that I can tell people what's really going on so they get insight into all the ways that they're being screwed without even being told about it or knowing about it. And I'd rather be doing what I'm doing now than what I was doing then.
Hey, David, when you watch Succession, do you root for the characters to win?
I found it to be a tragedy, actually.
It's a comedy.
I do agree.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, I did not find it to be. I didn't laugh at all. I found the end of Succession to be extraordinarily hurtful in the way that the siblings were exactly as they were told they were by their father all those years. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money who are not happy, who do not have self-confidence. And that show brilliantly captured what a family would be like to have a patriarch who is such a sociopath.
I'm going to hold your feet to the flame here. One game for your life, Aiden Hill or Sergei Bobrovsky?
This isn't right what you're doing. Give me your best 30 seconds on the Vegas A's situation. What's the most honest truth of what's happening in Oakland, and will they be moving to Vegas?
There's no deal done yet with Vegas. It's total poppycock. All they're doing is trying to get Oakland to get back to the table and try to improve that deal as much as possible. Baseball's in a position where they do not want to give up the expansion possibility of Vegas for the relocated A's, but they're really, really getting to the end here. And at the end is when all the threats happen. Is it possible they move to Vegas? Yes. Is it done and guaranteed? Absolutely not. There's more chapters left to be written.
Brian Custer just took the Nuggets in 5.
God damn it, Brian Custer.
Who is Brian Custer?
I don't know.
Not sure who that is.
Who's that guy? Custard?
Samson, we don't have time for a movie review. I don't like what's happened around here any better than you do. Thank you for joining us.
See ya.
I do appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, he's pissed.
Wait, David, do you have a favorite chicken nugget?
He's pissed. He's pissed. No, he's pissed again. Of course he's pissed. Chris Cody, the floor is yours, though. Tell us all you know about the Verhaeghe question that Mike Ryan asked you.
That kind of thing.